In traditional project management, we often track schedule and budget as two separate variables. You check the calendar to see if you are on time, and the ledger to see if you have money left. This alone creates a dangerous blind spot. A project dashboard can appear perfectly on budget simply because physical work has stalled. You aren't saving money, you just haven't paid for the progress you're missing. In any complex deployment, money spent is not a reliable proxy for work performed. To resolve this, we use a framework called Earned Value Management, or EVM. EVM functions as a predictive radar, translating physical, real-world progress into a singular, unified dollar value. Locking time and money into a single metric, we can mathematically forecast a project's true completion cost and date before a deadline is actually missed. Everything starts with the baseline. This is a frozen-before photo of the project's dates, costs, and effort, a snapshot that must be locked before work begins. The project manager calculates and aggregates the expected daily cost of every planned activity. This generates a cumulative S-curve representing planned value, or PV. The curve maps exactly what the work should cost over time. If the project proceeds according to plan, the final highest point on this curve represents total expected cost, that is budget at completion, or BAC. Without this PV baseline, we have no objective foundation to measure against. Once work actually begins, we analyze progress by conducting a radar sweep at a specific reporting date. For this example, let's look at day 7. First, we plot the actual cost, the raw amount of money currently spent on invoices and labor. As the actual cost is higher than planned value, it tells us we've spent more money than expected to this point. However, we also need the missing variable of earned value. This is the percentage of physical work completed multiplied by its originally budgeted cost. Consider a specific task budgeted to cost an $800 total. If field reports show that task is 33% complete, we multiply those figures for an earned value of $264. We then contrast this against the money spent. The manager may have paid $500 in labor to reach this point, but the objective earned value remains only at $264. Earned value strips away financial illusions. EV isolates the exact dollar value of the physical work sitting on the ground right now. Look at the vertical gaps on our Day 7 reporting line, we can quantify the damage. The gap between earned value and planned value is our schedule variance. This tells us exactly how far behind schedule the work has fallen. The gap between earned value and actual cost is our cost variance, measuring how much money the project is bleeding, compared to the work produced. To make these gaps scalable, we convert them into performance indices. The Schedule Performance Index, or SPI, divides earned value by planned value to determine our schedule efficiency. The Cost Performance Index, or CPI, divides earned value by actual cost to measure cost efficiency. In EVM, any index ratio falling below 1.0 is mathematical proof of value destruction. These indices provide a mathematical diagnosis of the project's health, subject to the field data being accurate. These numbers prove to stakeholders that by Day 7, the project is already over budget and behind schedule. EVM now moves from reporting historical failure to predicting the final outcome. We estimate the true final cost by dividing our original budget at completion by our current cost performance index using our CPI of 0.889. The math forecasts a new estimate at completion of $4,161. We do the same for time. We divide the planned duration by the schedule performance index. At our current efficiency of 0.8, a 10-day project is mathematically slated to take 12.5 days. These projections ensure we ignore optimistic promises, as they are evidence-based and rely purely on the current demonstrated rate of value creation. By Day 7, the mathematics replace hope with reality, with early warning indication that the project is headed to failure on its original parameters unless intervention occurs. EVM data forces objective reality into the boardroom, removing the emotional arguments that often cloud a project status. Treating these indices as early warning signals ensures that management is never surprised by a missed deadline. When variances appear, a manager can present data-backed, evidence-based choices. For smaller gaps, this might mean redesigning work packages or altering deliverables to stay within range. In more severe cases, it provides the justification needed to officially re-baseline the existing schedule or budget or halt execution entirely, and before more capital is wasted. None of this is possible without the initial frozen baseline, use of EVM to compare progress against the original picture. The team would be blind to their current trajectory. Earned value management is not just a method for tracking what has happened, it is the definitive mathematical framework for predicting and controlling the future of complex systems.